often I've encountered, you go to a wedding and somebody asks you, what do you do? And I say, I'm Babu, and kind of scratching your head, looking left, right, so on and so forth. Really, the question, sometimes you're caught unawares as to what you tell about yourself. How do you kind of introduce yourself? How do you position yourself to an external person? And it's very important, because the first 20 seconds of what you speak to him is how he'll perceive you. And it's extremely important to position yourself effectively. And that's what the next speaker is going to talk. How to introduce yourself effectively. And that talk is going to be done by Bhuvana Sreeram from Mumbai. She runs a company called House of Alpha, which is a fee-only service RIA. And she works with senior executives to corporate houses to various other entities in terms of providing them investment advice, all for a fee. And today she's going to help all of us learn the trick or the secret of how we're going to be effectively able to introduce ourselves the next time you're caught like I was caught, and give such a powerful pitch to that person that that person follows you back to the office wanting to become your client. Right? Interesting? Let's see, and let's hear it from Bhuvana Sreeram. Over to you, madam.
Hi, my name is Bhuvana Sreeram, and I'm not going to introduce myself because this session is about how to introduce yourself. I'm so thankful to IFA Galaxy for inviting me, and it's a great honor to be talking to all of you today. Mohsin had attended one of my sessions a few years back, and he thought that this would be something that is useful and relevant to you, and I'm glad he thought so. And I hope to add great value to you in the next 15-20 minutes. Let me share my screen. Okay, so it's the 12th IFA Galaxy Virtual Summit, and I'm not a renowned speaker, celebrity, or anything, but I think this is going to be very useful for you. So let's get going. So it's not just you, it's me too, and most of us that we struggle to answer this question in a social setting, whether it is in a family gathering, in a wedding, or when you meet your friends after a long time, or even when you go for a networking meeting, for BNI meetings or something like that. Immediately after you initially introduce yourself, you've given your name. The next question that comes to you is, what do you do? Right? And this question always, what do you say? You say, I am a mutual fund distributor, I'm an investment advisor, or I'm director of some company. So what really should you say that will create an immediate interest? Because you know how it is when you say you're an investment advisor or mutual fund distributor, it does not necessarily create the right kind of impact. People don't take that conversation ahead. I don't know if you have felt this, but I have always felt that people just suddenly don't want to talk anymore, and the conversation doesn't move ahead. So how can you, they could be prospective clients that you're talking to, right? So it's very important that 2-3 minutes that you talk to them, you create some kind of an impact, and you let them know of the great work that you do, so that at any point in time, if they think they require your services, you remain top of the mind. So in today's session, this is what I'm trying to convey to you. What is it that you can say, and how is it that you can convey the work that you do, or the value of the work that you do, to your prospective clients, especially when you meet them in social settings, right? Your neighbors or your family or friends or referrals or networking setups, right? Are we good to go? Great. Okay. So before we get there, I have a few questions. So I want you to think about this. You don't have to answer. Obviously, this is a recorded session, but think about it and pick up a pen and paper and maybe just pause this video and write it down and tell me, why are you in this business? Why are you doing this business? right? Why did you choose to become a financial advisor or a mutual fund distributor or an insurance agent? Whatever it is that you're doing, there must have been a reason, something that sparked something in you, that said, okay, this is making meaning and I want to do this as a business, right? There must be something, right? Think about it. I'll tell you why I am in this business, right? I am in this business because something moved in me when I was struggling with managing my money in my early days and paying my credit cards and my EMIs and not having enough at the end of the month even to pay a hospital bill. It really shook me very hard and I wanted to fix the situation, right? And I did something, which was getting started with investing, doing budgeting, doing a financial plan, or doing mutual fund investments, right? I found that very useful. And I see a lot of people who are exactly in the same place where I was. And whatever I do, or whatever systems and whatever learnings I have had along the journey, I think can be useful to them, right? And so I want to share it with them. What change happened in my life, I'd like for the same change to happen in the lives of people I meet, people I care for, right? And that is why I am in this business. Is this true with you as well? If it is, right, if it is that this is what you believe in, this is life changing, the work that I'm doing has great impact and can transform people's life, then there is no reason why you should not be a fan of your work, right? You should be a fan of your work. So let me tell you this. So I am CSK fan. I mean, obviously I am from Chennai and I'm a Chennai Super Kings fan. And this is how I go, I mean, to the matches. Like I paint my face yellow, and I mean, even family and children don't want to come with me. They're like, Mom, what are you doing? No, but I don't care, right? I don't really care. I mean, I am there going out and shouting for my heroes and Dhoni, Dhoni, Dhoni. So that's the fan that I am, right? I'm fanatic about about my heroes or about the sport. And when I'm fanatic about it, no amount of criticism dampens my enthusiasm, right? I'm motivated by extreme uncritical enthusiasm. If we can show this kind of fanatic involvement in a sporting hero, or sometimes for a political hero, or even movie heroes, why not show that for the work that we do? Right? Because the work that we do is transformational. If we can build this mindset of being fanatical about the work that we do, and we prospect fanatically, no amount of criticism will ever dampen your enthusiasm. You will always find ways of doing better and better, learning from your mistakes and moving ahead. So this is one mindset I want you to leave with as you go out there and start talking about your work, because the energy and enthusiasm that you show is what will move. It's not the words, it's not your body. I mean, it's really not what you say. It's how you feel about what you say, which a prospect can easily see through. When you're talking to them, that will move the needle for them, right? Yeah, I mean, I've heard some people say, actually, yeah, maybe she's just starting off, but she's totally passionate about what she does, so I want to give her a chance. I've had clients come like that to me. So this enthusiasm is prima facie first thing that I want you to take ahead. Don't be shy. When somebody asks you what to do, don't take a back seat, and show some enthusiasm and excitement about the work that you do. Okay. Now, having said this, right, we'll go into what can you say, right? That also should make sense, right? So what can you say in that conversation? So here are a few elements of a good introduction. So if you're introducing yourself, especially your work, these are a few elements of good introduction. You might have seen, I don't know if you've seen YouTube ads, right? So those 30-second, 40-second ads that come on YouTube in between whatever you're watching, they have a method to introduce the work that they do. And also, if you see multiple ads, you'll see that there is a certain pattern to it. I'm not saying copy that pattern. I'm only saying a good introduction has a method to it. Right? There are a few elements that have to be part of a good introduction, and we'll see what they are. Number one, you should make it amply clear in your introduction who you work with. right? What kind of people do you enjoy working with? And that has to be clear. We'll talk about all of this in more detail. Number two, what is the transformation that you bring in these people's life, right? You can note this down. We'll talk about it in detail. The work that you do, does it have a larger impact? Like people want to be associated with something that, that changes the country or the world, right? So the work that you do, does it have a larger impact? Can I be part of a cause, right? So that is something that you can convey. Next thing that clients want to know or prospects want to know is, while you are saying that you can do all of this, how can I trust you? What credentials do you have? How are you the right person for this job? That's something that you will have to establish. Also, social proof, right? Okay, tell me how many other people are using your services. Tell me more about your other clients. Like, who else uses your service? And what else about you makes the prospect relate to you as a person? Now, this I think is very important because our business is a trust-based business, right? And trust comes from two parts. One is your intentions and your capabilities, right? So in the process of establishing intention, uh, more often than not, you kind of tend to trust the intention of somebody who's more like you. If I know that I'm meeting a parent of a child, I'm more likely to trust their intentions because I know that she's also somebody like me, right? There is some commonality. So if you can leave behind something about yourself, the person, right? So that makes it relatable for them to trust you, to listen to you. That will be good. A lot of times in these business introductions, I've seen that people don't talk about their families. People don't talk about their hobbies. It's all about work, work, work. We can't do business like that. I keep saying this. There is no B2B or B2C business. There is only P2P business, which is person to person business. So I'm a person who's brought something on the table, and you're a person who needs something, but we connect as a person. So it's very important for you to leave something behind for the prospect. That is you, the person, right? So these are some elements of a good introduction, and we will see how you can weave this into a very simple 1-2 minute conversation. Would that interest you? Okay, let's go. Number one, who you work with, right? So you might think that you don't want to niche today, you don't want to specialize, or you want to put your thing out there for anybody to take, right? Lay your net wide and far so that you might just get a lot of fishes. So that is some people's approach. However, I think you will still have some clients that you enjoy working with, right? Do you have clients that you enjoy working with and clients you don't enjoy working so much with? I'm sure you do. We all do, right? When we go out to prospect, I would personally like to have more of the clients that I like working with, and not necessarily the clients that I don't work with. So if I want more of the clients that I work with, I will have to understand this person well. So how we start doing this is that first you identify one of your best clients, the clients that you enjoy picking their phone or like to go and meet them, or they generally, your type. You get them, they get you, right? So those kind of clients. Identify these people and profile this client. So profile meaning what is their demographics, like how old are they, what is their educational background, where do they work, what is the family like, what kind of hobbies do they have, where do they usually hang out. So this kind of general profiling of your ideal client or your most liked client, you can do that, right? I mean, that's not very difficult. Identify this client and do a little note on, oh, this is the kind of person that this person is. Let me just say Amit, right? So Amit is this kind of a person. He is about 45 years old. He works here, this, right? Now, in my practice, in my business, I want more of this Amit kind of clients. I want more of my most desired type of clients, who I call ideal clients. Okay? Now, once you've identified what kind of client or the profile of the kind of client you want to work with, start with saying your introduction like this. I work with senior corporate executives of MNCs who get ESOPs as part of their compensation. Okay, so this is one profile. Or you can say doctors who have their own clinic or hospital in Chennai, right? Or you can say NRIs who are in the Middle East and who are looking at returning to India for retirement. Right? Any profile, any kind of client, give some more information about this client and say who you work with. This is first thing for you to understand. How you weave it in the conversation, we will see. But who is the client that you'd like to talk to? So depending on who you're talking to, you can modify this, right? So if you are in a networking event, you can say, I work with first generation entrepreneurs. Or if you're meeting someone who's a senior corporate executive, you can say, I work with senior corporate executives. So feel free to do that. But identify your ideal client and profile them and have a sentence that explains, that describes them. That's step one. The next step is that what transformation does your work bring? What is the before after? So client comes to you with certain challenges or certain fears or certain concerns, and after they work with you, this is what happens in their life, right? So this is something that, I'm sure if you put a few minutes of thought into it, you'll be able to figure it out. But I'll give you some examples so that you just get the drift and you can build from there. So an senior corporate executive who gets a lot of ESOPs runs a huge concentration risk with both his income as well as his wealth being from the same source. So there's a lot of concentration risk, and examples like the Lehman Brothers happened where you lose your income also, you lose your wealth also, there's no backup. So we help these clients who have all of their money in one basket to diversify and create cash flows, and so that they can live a good life and retire and not worry about whether their money will last or not. Right? This is the transformation. So when they come in, they're probably concerned about everything is in one place, or I don't know, if something happens to my job, then I'm going to be in trouble. And after they work with us, they are a little more calm. They are a little more reassured that their work is only one part of their income. The rest of their money is lying elsewhere as well, right? So just giving you an example. Some other examples can be when a doctor owns their own practice, they get a lot of cash because people pay in cash. So they're not really managing it very well. They are very, very busy people, and they are exchanging their time for their income, right? It's very important for them to manage the money that they earn during their earning years and stash it away and create cash flows when they retire, so that they can live their lifestyle and their standard of living even after they get older, right? So this is another example. Another example could be NRIs living in the Middle East, more often than not, invest a lot in real estate in India. Right? And so the money is stuck. And if they want to come back, they struggle with managing so many assets. Plus, these are not, they're giving piddly cash flows. So we help them diversify and create cash flows so that the same standard of living that they were enjoying back there, they can enjoy here also. So that's the work that we do. So this, if you can make a little sentence that explains the transformation that you do, that can fit in nicely in your introduction. Okay. The next part is what is the larger impact of the work that you do? Okay. So you're all mutual fund distributors, you're all in financial services. What is the larger impact of the work that you do? And what is moving the needle? What is the larger purpose? Are you just in the business of making rich people richer? Is that your job? No, right? So think about it. This is what I think the work that I do has a larger impact. My work helps create more financially secure citizens for the country. And when somebody is financially secure, they tend to make a lot more sensible decisions. Sometimes they also tend to take risks that are necessary for growth, right? They're not a burden to their family or their community. They are a blessing to their family or the community, right? This, I think, is nation building work. Financially secure citizens are more likely to create a great nation than otherwise. So this is the larger canvas. This is the larger impact of the work that I do. And man, I proudly go out there and say the work that we do is nation building work. And today, India needs more of us, right? So this is one more point. And this is important. Why are you the right person for the job? More often than not, we start with this, right? We give our credentials. We say, I'm a certified financial planner or a mutual fund distributor or, so this comes much later. People don't really want to know what your credentials are. They want to know it, but not upfront. They want to first know what you can do for them, right? What is the point of talking to you? What's in it for me, right? So you establish that first, and then you add information about your credentials. You can say, I'm a commerce graduate, I'm an MBA in finance, or I'm a chartered accountant, or I'm a certified financial planner, or a CFA, or I'm AMFI certified, or I'm NISM certified, or QPFP, or whatever it is that you want to say. Give your credentials. So this is an introduction that I do. I'm an MBA in finance, and I'm a certified financial planner. I've been in this business, so also establish how long have you been there? Are you a newbie? Have you been around for a long time? I've been in this business for the last 10 years, 15 years. My partners are chartered accountants and chartered financial analysts. We have a team of lawyers and other qualified people. So we are a 5-6 member team who do this work together, right? So give credentials, establish that you're the right person for doing this job. Okay, so this gives people a lot of confidence, and in the trust equation, the capability is established here, right? So we said trust is a function of two things. One is your intention, and the other is your capability. Here, you're establishing your capabilities because you are educated, and there is somebody who's certified that you can do this job. Okay, and this, of course, is social proof. Everybody wants to know. While you're saying all of this and you're making this transition, can you give me examples of people who worked with you? Right? How many people do you work with? So if they know that more people like them already work with you, then they're more inclined to talk to you. Okay? So add this one little more sentence that we work with about 150 clients. About 30% of them are doctors. Like whichever ideal client segment that you want to highlight, say how many doctors do you work with, or how many NRIs do you work with, right? So add this also in that little sentence. And last but not the least, I think this is very important, is give them a little bit of you, the person, right? In the trust equation, intention and capability, this shows trustworthiness. This shows intention, right? She's able to put herself out there. So one of the biggest things that clients say, okay, you work with a bank RM, or you work with somebody who's employed with one of the big big national distributors. You work with an employee, right? But when they work with you, they work with a business owner, somebody who's putting their neck out there in the chopping block and taking calls, and who's got the guts to stand up and have an opinion, right? So give them this person that they're going to be dealing with, right? Give them a little bit of you, the person. Share a little bit of information about your family and your interests, so that they also know, oh, okay, so you have a teenage son, what does he do, right? Or you have, you're interested, you have pets, okay? So you cats, dogs, what? Or you go hiking, or you go biking. So give them a little bit of information about you, so that they also know that you're just like them. Okay, this shouldn't be very difficult for you. I'm sure you're all very good at it. So I say something like this: while work. So the question started, what do you do, right? So while professionally, that's what I do. That's not all of me. There is the family as well. So my husband is a banker. My son is a teenager. He goes to class 8, and so that takes most of my time. Right, a little bit of information. So this explains what I do and who I am. And now, okay, tell me a little bit about you. So because you have given them a little bit about you, now you've passed the ball. The ball is in their court. They have to give you a little bit about them. So now, now that they've taken it, they have to return it. So you've created that trust, and it's very likely that people will open up to you with information that you can use very effectively later on. Okay, so this is largely what goes on in a conversation. Let me put it all together for you. If I'm meeting someone and we're having this conversation, I'm meeting them. for coffee, or in a networking meeting or over dinner, somebody's introduced us. So the conversation goes like this, right? So what do? I don't start off with saying I'm a financial advisor or certified financial planner. I say I run my own business. Okay, so this is just a little hook. Usually, if they're even a little bit interested, people will ask, "Oh, okay, good. What kind of business?" Okay, this works very well, especially in family meetings, in family and friends, because you find people in family, maybe they're salaried executives or they're working somewhere, and they suddenly know that you're doing your own thing. They want to know a little bit more. Okay, so at least the conversation doesn't stop there. There is a follow-up question. Okay, tell me a little more about it. Then I say, well, I work with a lot of senior corporate executives who get a lot of ESOPs. What normally happens is that they have all of their income and their wealth in one source, and it's a cause of major concern, because if something happens to the company, everything is lost. So I help them diversify a little bit, invest it in alternate options, and create some cash flows for them, so that they can be safe. They need not worry about what will happen to their wealth, and they can retire in comfort and without running out of money. Also, I think the work that we do solves a bigger purpose, because my clients, because they work with me, they don't become a burden to their family. They continue to be a blessing to their family and to their community. And this to me is nation building work. So you might know that I'm a certified financial planner, and I'm a mutual fund distributor. I've been in this business for about 15, 17 years now. I also have partners in my business who are chartered accountants, and we have tied up with a lot of good legal advisors as well. So we do this very comprehensively. We work with about 150 clients. About 30, 40 of them would be senior corporate executives. The rest of them would be professionals. So that's mostly the setup. I work out of Mulund. And while this takes most of my time, I live in Thane. And family consists of my husband, who's a banker, and my son, who's 14 years old. My in-laws also live with me. So that's largely what I do. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what you do and who you are? Right? So this whole conversation might take about 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Right? Of course, you can engage a little bit. But it's given you a chance to fairly explain the impact of the work that you do, and keep the doors open for further conversations, right? So this is what I thought you might like and you might want to immediately implement. I'd be very happy to hear from all of you. I am available on LinkedIn. You can find me Bhuvana Sreeram, yes. So find me on LinkedIn, and I'll be very happy to hear your thoughts on these, and introduce yourself, please. Thank you very much.